gonna go with the game. And lo-fi is still on. I'm gonna have to fix the button so lo-fi is turned off automatically. Yeah, I am very shit at planning. Like, if I have some sort of standard, if I have like something to go after, then yes, I would be able to plan stuff. Otherwise, it is basically like, okay, let's just do from scratch.
突然だけど、君たちにとって友達ってどんな存在かな。友達っていいよね。休日に遊びに行って一緒におやつを食べて、くだらない話にふけってたまに喧嘩する。そんな何気ない日々が幸せだって気づき始める時期が誰しもきっとある。
I really want to know like the background story of this guy. But apparently we started believing, not outside of game but inside of game, he was either one called Lucifer from like a back in the day weird ass mass death lunatic thing. No, I think it was like a cult stuff or something, I don't know. But to put it simple, ever since this guy started, people have basically gotten, oh, this is kind of interesting. Not even joking, we had actually one of our detectives realize that, it was actually kind of fun killing people. I'm not even joking with that. Apparently they said that all their life everything has been dull. They didn't feel anything. They haven't felt anything even as a detective. But apparently the courting Duke murdered their friend and somehow she just felt like, ooh, nice. So to be fair, I'm pretty certain. Well, that is fair enough. M? Oh wait, is he talking about? Is he talking about our detective? Not back. I was about to say Backstreet. It was not Backstreet. No, was it Back? No. What were they called? I don't know. There's some sort of detective. It's just that everyone had their code name, and someone was like Backstreet or Back something. Okay, give me a second. I'm actually going to check. Also, I'm gonna try to turn off the automatic. So we have lost a few. She's gone. She's a ghost with us. He's gone. He was killed by... Well, where is she? There. Downtown, not Backstreet. Okay, Backstreet Boys here. Yeah, so apparently she... Does it say, actually? No, it doesn't say anything about her becoming a murderer. The worst part is that she was the one who basically helped us and did everything. And then it was just... Well, I not perhaps really, because in the end it was kind of like she tried to at least say just like stay alive whatever you do or something. Also, I'm gonna do this. It's kind of distracting for some reason. I liked it. Like I liked it though. I have both my different eye stuff. I have this and I have this. Everyone in chat can actually fix this. Like there is a redeem to like take it off and put it on again. I don't know how much time has passed since we entered this hidden passage. We're still moving in the gloom, unsure of what's ahead. At first, everyone was too nervous to speak. Now, however, I can hear voices piping up. Also, yeah, we are in a secret tunnel because outside is a murder robot. And then we apparently in-game met 10 years ago. So there is something that happened, like the Lucifer thing, that might get linked to this guy. But also what happened 10 years ago, that happened to us, basically, that's just the same robot, so something happened. Alright, I'm gonna do automatic here now.
そうよ、ヤマトちゃん。もどかしいのはみんな同じなのだから、落ち着かなきゃダメ。
I do love that the one they call gourmet here is basically one with the like most amount of meat.
どいつもこいつもこんなに長い通路を作るもんなのか
I hope they do.
そんなこと言われましても、私の家はここまで大きくは。
I'm sorry for like crackling.
あんた
I
た
got
ち
the
メーカーだ
munchies.
ってのに小さいのか
冗談ですわ。こんな通路の一つや二つ、上流階級の屋敷では当然でしたよ。
Dear Lord. Even if there's a lot of talking of this game, I've said it before, like, the script makes it bearable. The script makes it funny. I had another game called, like, the game Digimon Survived had, like, as much or even more talking than this game. And at least that game was just, it was mostly just, like, everyone complaining. Or everyone trying to, like, stay sane or something. It wasn't really any, like, good, nice conversation. Or scripting even. Everyone may be chatting, but things feels just as tense as before. It's no different from when Holmes died. Bell must be making small talks on purpose to redirect the thoughts. They're as gritty as ever. I bet they've experienced tight spots like this several times over. Especially compared to me. Yeah, this is her, by the way. She apparently decided to just make a poisonous mist and fucking just go with it. As I walk silently, downtown's dying face keeps reappearing in my mind. The worst case in-game here is that we got this like specific, not power or like gift, but like, it's in a sense it is a power, but it's more like a mind power. If we focus, we're capable of like deducting the future. And apparently we managed to deduct a future where like everyone was like dying of poison in like the front hall. But something that apparently was striking us the most was her face as she like got killed in the mist. And the worst part with that is basically that it had happened and there's nothing we can like do about it. It wasn't even that future. That was another future. This was just something that happened. And only spent a little time together. Yet she taught me so much about being a detective. Unlike the others, it's difficult for me to switch my mood at will. Oh, speaking of another one that probably can't change her mood right now. The other person who died was basically her father. Look where mother mutters beside me. Her face bitter. Her hands have been clenched and trembling this entire time. Her adoptive father had died no more than a few hours ago. So it's no surprise that she can't turn off her feelings either.
騒がしくてごめんね、文学さん。きっとみんなも気持ちを切り替えようと必死なんだよ。
あなたは平気なのですか？先ほどからうじうじしてばかりのくせに。
Of course not. I think like we are basically hell and USB detective in this game. We basically just got smacked into a locker and put on the premises of this island. That's how new we are as a detective. Also, the name might probably be also an kind of indication of how new we are. Everyone else, yeah, it's as we've read. They basically trying to deal with it by just talking and stuff. We're still human.
親しく話していた人が犯人だなんて初めての経験だから。
Fair enough, actually.
ごめんね、文学さんの前でこんな話最低だったよ。
その辛さはわかります。私にも経験がありますから。
I feel so bad for her. I like her for the reason of how she acts, how she basically narrates everything. And I've said it before, it's just something I just like to explain. I feel so goddamn bad for her. She's also the youngest here.
私の家族を死に追いやったのは私に読書の楽しさを教えてくれた
Oh.
先
Oh
生
yeah,
だったんです
that's fair. She is not lying. She knows exactly what we feel.
そんなことが。
The teacher must be been the one behind that incident caused by a remnant of that religious movement. Like Renegade Detective mentioned, having your family killed by your beloved teacher. My heart aches as the thought of it.
殺人を犯す人は決して利害の存在なんかじゃないみんな私たちと同じ人間
That is fair. There are some that are absolutely weird as hell, but that
渋
is
谷探
true.
偵にも彼女が強行に至った理由があったはずそれを解き明かす
The
こ
only
とこ
reason
そ
she said why she did it is
私たち
basically
探偵の
that
仕事で
she
す
didn't feel anything ever. It was only death then she started to actually feel something.
それって、もしかして魔界さんの言葉？
I guess it was. Bookworm says nothing, only nodding once in reply. Everything always has a logic behind it. An even seemingly unrealistic event occur for a reason. Mystic taught me something absolutely priceless.
渋谷さんは僕らを騙し続けていたけど、彼女から聞いた言葉のすべてが嘘だったなんて思えない。
Yeah, well, that's easy to say. If she was lying 100%, she would not have been helping us as much as she actually did.
文学さん、約束するよ。渋谷さんが八つ崎港に組みした理由は必ず解き明かしてみせる。魔界さんのためにも、渋谷さんのためにもね。
序列最下位のくせによく言いますねまあ期待せずに待っています
Fair enough, we are actually the lowest as
少女は
rank.
皮肉っぽく笑っていった
We started at 100 and we're still at 100 because we have not been in the league for that long. I think we were in the league like yesterday in game. Bookworm snickers. She may be mocking me, but it's still a relief to see. I'll gladly take any amount of verbal abuse and derision if it helps soften the pain of losing Mystic.
みんな、
Fair.
通路の終わりが見えてきたよ。
Ooh, end of the passage. I hope there's not a
何
robot
が
there.
待ち受けているかわからないから、慎重に進もう。
Also, I hope we don't get into the laboratory place. It was also filled with poison. When I look forward, I notice that it's slightly brighter up ahead. So this long passageway does have an end after all. I can feel Bookworm's hand clench in mine.
行こう。文学
I
さん。
get the feeling she trusts us the most. Which is kind of understandable. I stay by her side as we walk down towards the light. And then... okay, yeah, now I was about to say, like, that hallway, we have seen that hallway, like, a few times in game. And remind us of, like, the past, the dreams he has from, like, 10 years ago. This also does, because I do remember this exact screenshot. Yeah, familiar dungeon.
場所って。
Because we're also trying to figure out what happened, because the detectivess that died first, she with the white hair, she says that we saved her, because she was apparently the girl that we saved from this place 10 years ago. But the problem is that we don't remember that. What we remember is that she died. And that is why we became a detective, to be able to figure out what happened. A feverish sensation arises at the back of my head, and I feel as though I'm about to kneel over from dizziness. Pushing past it, I slowly take in my environs. A strong sense of déjà vu sinking into me. The cold, bleak space is choked by dust and metallic odor. Our footsteps echoes off the concrete, lit by flickering grey lights above. There is no mistaking it. This lifeless place is the same one I've seen countless times in my dreams.
気づいたみたいだね。
Yeah. Holmes appears next to me, scanning the room with a stern expression.
ここは10年前に私たちが監禁されていた部屋だ。
Yeah.
謎の多い10
That's the
年前の
worst part, because I know that that place back then
探偵同盟はこの場所に
was
本部を
doing
設け
something with detectives, because they were talking about detectives. But this is basically the main base of the Detective League. And it's above this place. If it has like been like, I don't know, abandoned for 10 years, fine, they perhaps didn't even know of it. Mostly because also there was actually some death traps in the goddamn house above. There are so many questions I want to ask Holmes, but all the detectives are close by. I have to wait until later, so I don't look suspicious. She can't read your mind, dude. At least I'm not the only one who's surprised.
何なんですのこの牢屋だらけの部屋は。地下にこのような牢獄を隠しているだなんて、まるで犯罪組織じゃありませんの。
To be honest, she is true with
つま
that one.
り探偵同盟は犯罪組織だったってことかな。こいつは
To be
驚きだ
honest, it
ね。
wouldn't surprise me if that actually was a twist.
芸道さん、その冗談
Comes
は
from
さ
the
すがに
one
笑えま
as
せん
well
わ。
that actually used to be a criminal.
探偵同盟が犯罪に加担するなどありえませんわ。
おっと、ごめんごめん。次は笑えるジョークを口にできるように努めるよ。期待していてくれ。
皮肉をまともに受け止めるんじゃありませんわ。
I don't think
エ
he
ロちゃんの冗談は
cares.
さておき、謎が多い場所なことは間違いないわよね。
Oh yeah, no shit. Like, why is it underneath the Detective Alliance?
なんだかここはすごく嫌な気配がするよ。みんな気をつけてね。
飛躍君の言う通りだ。まずは冷静に全員で調査を進めていこう。
僕らが歩いていた方角距離から通路は研究棟につながっていると考えていたけれど違った。この地下施設は明らかに誰かを監禁することが目的の場所だ。
If they did,
まさ
then
か
apparently
探偵
they
同盟は
thought
犯
that
罪者を監禁
10-year-olds
す
were
る自警団
criminals.
的
Or well, kids were criminals. I don't know if we were
働きも
10
してい
years
たのか。
old.
そう考
At
え
the
る
same
と例
time,
の
we
黒い
might
機
be
械が排
younger
除され
actually
ていることが
because I don't
納
know
得
what
でき
age we are,
し
but
か
it
しなぜ
was
そ
10
のよう
years
なこと
ago.
探偵が犯人を拘束する必要なんて皆無だ。まずは監禁されていた対象を。
科学の坊ちゃん、また自分の世界に入っちまってるぞ。ちゃんと社畜のおっさんの話を聞こうな。
ごめんなさい。
Anything interesting?
じっと牢屋を見つめてどうしたの？
She noticed, by the way, everything and remembers everything.
来て。
Oh, yeah, show me. Bookworm pulls me by my sleeve over to one of the countless cells in the room.
ベッドがあるし、鍵もかけられます。休息に最適な場所ではないですかと。少女はグッドアイデアを伝えた。
Well, it depends on how you mean with locked. Yes, it can be locked from the outside and you will be fucking stuck. That is basically the premises of what a jail is. But yes, we can rest there. Now that she pointed out, I can see a rather unconventional bed suspended by chains on the wall. Are you capable of like closing that up? Because it does look like it. Also, how the hell did they manage to make a stone slab bed out of a stone slab wall? There's an alcove where the frame would normally fold up into when it's not in use. Upon it is a simple mattress. Oh, it's a mat? I don't even see a mattress, I just see stone. Bookworm looks utterly exhausted. Not only is she the youngest one here, but somebody dear to her was killed today. She may not have noticed yet, but I'm certain she's nearing the brink of exhaustion.
社畜さん、
みんな疲れていると思いますし、今日はもう休みませんか？牢屋の鍵を見つけて各自で内側から施錠すれば安心して休むことができる。
That is fair, actually. If you keep your key and actually lock
それ
from
は
the
いいよ
inside.
だね。じゃあ早速動ける人で鍵を探してみようか。
安心しな。さっきそこの棚が妙に匂ったんで調べてみたらよ、鍵の束を
Oh
見つけた
damn,
ぜ。
she's on it.
さすがはヤマトさん、本当にすごい嗅覚だね。
How did you manage to smell
み
keys?
んな
How does
私以上
key
に
smell
活
like other
躍し
than
てば
metal?
かり。年長者として立つ瀬がないな。
皆さん、牢屋で一泊することには何の抵抗もありませんのね。
非日常的なことが続きすぎてて感覚が麻痺してるんだよ、きっと。
Check the cells just in case, ensuring there is no traps here like in the manor. There is no furniture apart from the beds, and since all the cells have the same layout, we finished fast. Nothing but rows and rows of bars, like in a jail.
どの牢屋に入るかみんなの希望がまとまったから図に起こしてみたよ。
この図、社畜さんが描いたんですか？すごくお上手ですね。
Nice. Okay, so Posh Armor, Bookworm Renegade. What was her name? Something. TOEFL, Workaholic, Gourmet, Us, and Techie. Rowdy, that was her name.
会社で上司から仕掛け絵本の企画を命じられたことがあってね。その時に練習したんだ。
Fair enough.
企画はポシャったけど、娘が喜ぶような絵を描けるようになったから、結果オーライだよね。
Okay, works. Kind of a win-win in a sense.
事情が生々しいな。
And only two of us, one of us is Ghost, knows what this place used to be used for. At any rate, it's very easy to tell in the diagram where each detective is resting. A wide central path is sandwiched between a row of cells on either side. If we consider the room entrance to be south, then the men are on the east side and the women on the west. Oh, makes sense. Other consideration to the latter. Other than that, the detectives seem to be randomly distributed. Only one detail stands out to me.
文学さん、一人部屋でも大丈夫？
はい。
もしよかったら、今日は文学さんの部屋の入り口の近くにマットレスを敷いて、僕も同じ部屋で寝るよ。そうすれば、侵入しようとする人がいても気づけると思うし。
He's considerate at least.
いきなり何を言い出しますの、あなた。
What do you mean? We're trying to be considerate. Like, I do understand their point. We're trying to be considerate at least. Also, why with the music? Whoa. I feel a burn of every eye in the room and boring into me. Did I say something wrong?
気持ちはわかるけど、文学ちゃんもレディーなんだから、同じ部屋
Yeah,
で
and
寝る
that,
とか
okay, the
言っちゃダ
music
メよ。
made me think it was something absolutely worse. I understand the point that they're having, definitely. But it's as we, like, as the player thing, like, she has pretty just lost someone. We basically just doesn't want to leave her alone.
仲間同士なのに、どうしてそんな。
この変態ロリコン野郎と言って少女は黄金の右足を犯罪者予備軍のすねに叩き込んだ。
What did it wrong? I was just worried. Why is she so mad? I do love it. Doesn't even understand the problem.
これはワト君が悪いな。こってり絞られるといい。
どうして
The only response I received to my question is Holmes' beaming smile.
どうして無能の兄さんは責められてんだ？この寒さの中で床で寝るのは確かに危険だけどよ。仲間思いで結構なことじゃねえか。
I do love that there's also one other that is like, huh? I enter my room and give it a once-over. Cobwebs covering the ceiling, making me uneasy about walking around without crouching. But the walls and bars are sturdy, so no one should be able to force their way in. I'll at least be able to sleep in peace. That leaves only the one thing to worry about.
本当に文学くんの元へ行くのか？また怒られるのがオチだぞ。
彼女はきっと無理をしています。仲間として放っておけませんよ。
Yeah, that's the biggest question, like that's the biggest reason
今
why
夜
we
は
asked before.
君が気にしていたこの地下牢と探偵同盟の関係性を語ろうと思っていたんだが、文学くんを優先するのか？
その話
I
は
don't know, I guess.
また別の機会にお願いします。中井さんには多くのことを教わりましたから。
Fair enough.
こんな僕でも文学さんの力になれるなら最善を尽くしたいんです。
まったく他人のことになると石みたいに堅くなだな、君は。では
Thanks, I
対話の時
guess.
間はまた明日にでもゆっくり取るとしよう。君の好きに行動してみるといい。
はい。わがままを言ってごめんなさい。
Well, we're trying to be considerate at least. I unlock the cell from the inside and head out. A faint metallic noise echoes through the dungeon, giving me a start.
あれ？照明がつかない。モーションセンサーでつくって聞いたんだけど。
The ceiling of the dungeon has a motion sensor. Normally, coming into the hall should trigger the lights. When Dolful first entered, it flickered as soon as he stepped foot in the room.
夜間はモーションセンサーがオフになり、照明がつかないようプログラミングされているのだろう。一度ついた電灯は時間経過で消えるし、センサーのオフが消灯時刻として機能しているわけだな。
なんだか暗闇に乗じて忍び寄るみたいで嫌ですね。
Then go back into your cell.
今さら気づいたの
Sounds
か？
very weird.
君は傍から見れば幼い少女に呼ばいをかける変質者だよ。
And that's the reason why they got so freaked out before. I finally realized how shady I must appear. Still, I can't let this go. I'm just going to check and make sure the bookworm is sleeping all right. Having made up my mind, I start heading towards her cell, but then...
女性陣の眠る牢屋に何の用かな？
Hi, workaholic. I turn around and see workaholic right behind me. How did he get there? I failed to notice him at all, and the darkness hadn't helped.
確かに私は影が薄いけど、そこまで驚かれるとへこむな。
ごめんなさい。僕やっぱりどうしても文学さんが心配で。
そうだと思ったよ。私も同じだ。それに私たちだけじゃないみたいだよ。
Huh? What do you mean? There's more here. Who?
野郎の声がすると思ったらあんたたちかよ。
考えていたことは同じみたいね。一緒に文学ちゃ
I
んの
don't think
顔
we
を
all
見
had
に
the
行きま
same
しょう。
idea. She was talking about beating someone up. That is not the same idea as the other one of us had. We joined Rowdy and Gome and make our way over to Bookworm's cell as a group.
どうして大人数で私の部屋にと、少女は思いもしない客人たちに驚きつつ尋ねた。
Bookworm is wide awake. The moment she noticed us approaching, she moved forward and posed her question.
あ、美食さんが非常用のお菓子を持ってるって言うから、その文学さんも食べるかなって。
I love that we're at least trying our best to
嘘
actually
が
like
下手すぎです
just
それでも
I
探
don't
偵
know
です
keep
か
up.
少女は軽蔑の目を無能探偵へ向けた
Oh, that was a burn and a half. I'm disappointed in my weak excuse, but Bookworm merely sighed deeply before retrieving the key to herself from her pocket.
扉の前で騒がれると寝ている方々の迷惑です。ひとまず中へ入ってくださいと語り、少女はしぶしぶ開錠してあげた。
ありがとう。
次に大声を出したら帰ってもらいますと少
Does
女
that
は
mean that was
警
strike
告し
1 out
た。
of 3? Because I was basically shouting.
はい。
Just getting my pocket watch. I have a pocket watch now. It wasn't actually that expensive. I think I used to like find these things for like 300 Swedish kronor, which is about like $30. I got this for 150. It was actually nice looking. I don't know if you can hear the ticking of it. No, I can hear it if I keep it towards my ear, but it's so low that you cannot hear it with the microphone. After she let us in, we all sit in a circle on the floor of Bookworm's cell. The cold concrete floor makes me shiver. Sitting here is one thing, but sleeping like this would be another. Now I understand why the beds are suspended from the walls.
文学ちゃん、好きなお菓子はあるかしら。私趣味がツーリングだから全国のご当地お菓子を持ち歩いているのよ。ツーリングとお菓子に関係性はないのではと少女は素朴な疑問を口にした。
Actually, yeah, I would say so. Just having a little snack while you were going
も
somewhere.
う何を言ってるの？ツーリングといえばサービスエリアでの食事とお土産の物色でしょ。
きっと多くのツーリング好きの主目的はそこではないと思いますよ。
Perhaps not some or some just get
あんこ
snacks
サンド
while
をもらってもいい
driving.
かな。実は大好物なんだ。
Fair.
社畜のおっさん。なんつうかあんたお菓子の趣味
And
まで地
donuts
味な
are
んだな。
fine. They are good.
もう諦めてるよ。私はどうあがいても地味な男だからね。
I am worried about
キャラ付け
something
のた
who
め
will
に
turn evil
魔
next.
界探偵の愛用していた聖剣をあげましょうかと少女は最高の打開策を提案した。
Hold it,
い
please.
や、それはちょっと。
Yeah, I'm not following either.
政権と会社員はどうあがいても噛み合わなそう。
ですが近年は会社員がトラックにひかれて勇者になる筋書きの小説も多々ありますよと
Ah,
少女は自らの案を補足する。
okay. I
それ
guess.
世界転生ものだよね。政権を持つ前に転生しないといけないやつ。
あなたすぐに突っ込みますね。突っ込み探偵に改名したらどうですかと
Please don't rename me.
少女は突っ込みに突
There
っ込
are
みを
games that
返し
have
た。
done that before, just because. Please not rename. Wait, there was actually a game where they someone changed their name like 5-6 times in the game, and that was annoying. And also, hello Ganny, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing good. I came home from work. I am now sitting here, been playing some gacha before fixing up stream. Called in for vacation days on the 30th and 1st June and July, because I'm probably gonna have my celebrate-a-thon that time. That weekend and probably Monday, depending on how long I will be going and how long people are capable of making me going. But how are you doing? I hope you're doing well as well. That was something I feel like I was gonna talk about. Oh right, it was a thing that happened this week, and if I'm gonna like record it or like, I don't know if streaming it would be working, but it would be interesting doing. It feels like Bookworm's been been speaking more. Maybe she's starting to relax. I'll be happy if this visit helps her, even if only a bit. I'm doing alright. I got a realization today because of what happened on Friday, and that I will probably need to optimize my money and save because money isn't accessible anymore. Fair enough. That is absolutely fair enough, actually. Logical conclusion. Oh, 2 new people are joining in. We hadn't seen either of them for some time. What's more, Armor is carrying a bag of bulging with food.
武装さん、その食料どうしたの？
毒ガスが満ちる前に食堂から持ち出してきたのである。
Oh, nice. So yeah, where we are right now in game is the cells we were at 10 years ago. But yeah, I hope you're doing better though. I can read that you're doing alright, but I hope you're still doing better anyway.
我の鎧は多少の毒ではびくともしない。我だけが果たし得る任務だったのだ。
So, you do understand that it's the breathing part problem? No, actually not. She did say that even like touching this shit would kill you.
鎧は平気でも、あなた自身は平気じゃないでしょう。まだガスが蔓延していなかったから助かっただけで、ガスを吸っていたら普通に死んでいましたよ。念のためピカピカくんで除染した後、奥のシャワー室で鎧を洗ったから平気だと思いますけど、もう絶対にしないでください。
Yeah, I was about to say like, isn't that shit just something you breathe in?
武装さんのせいで、もう除染用の薬品がすっからかんです。次は助けてあげられませんからね。
Decontaminant. I don't know why, but when I read that, it sounded like they had made some sort of homemade deodorant.
すまなかったのである。
Armor is clearly dismayed by Teki's unusual display of anger. Also, we're gonna have an ad in 5 minutes. I'm grateful to Armor, but his actions really are far too unsafe. We're in danger as it is. Acting alone only increased the risk of being ambushed. Wait, who is left now? It is Renegade and Posh. Yeah, I think it's only Renegade and Posh that is not with us. Right? Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Like, if something happens, I want to figure out, like, who is not with us. Not with us. Gone. With us. With us. Not with us. Doleful is not with us. With us. With us. Gone. With us. With us. Gone. Yeah, 3 people. Doleful is not with us. But still, no matter how rash Armor may be, this particular bout of recklessness doesn't quite make sense.
食料が大事なのはわかるけど、どうして単独行動してまで取りに行ったの？
どうしてもこれだけは持ち出さなければならないと思ったのだ。
Armor takes out a plastic container with sandwiches neatly packed up inside. Wait, isn't that Mystic's sandwiches? I feel so bad for Bookworm.
それはお父さんの。
Those are Mystic sandwiches.
その通りである。魔界殿が作ってくれたブリティッシュサンドの余りだ。このサンドだけでも残ってはい
Those
ない
were
か
ones we're supposed to
改めて
eat
冷蔵庫を
when
見に行ったのであ
someone
る。
ransacked the refrigerator. Earlier, the chaotic mess of food scattered about distracted us from thoroughly scouring the fridge. The sandwich must have been hidden in the back.
食料なら昼にほとんどぐちゃぐちゃにされていたのを一緒に確認したよね。どうして今さら冷蔵庫のチェックを？
冷蔵庫を荒らしたのは渋谷殿であろう？
Yeah.
彼女ならいくらトリックに必要だとはいえ、魔界殿が最後に作った料理を足毛にできるとは思えなかったのである。
The worst part is, in a sense, that does make sense. Because the last thing she said to us was basically stay alive. And there is like, it's as we said, like it's not like didn't feel like she always lied, that she always was a murderer. It was like she mixed shit up sometimes without even realizing it. So the worst part is when he says that not even she would dare lay hand on some of the last things her mystic ever made. That somehow that does make sense.
そっか。それはそうだね。
Oh, this is a good game though. It's a fun
くん
game.
くん毒の香りはなし。渋谷ちゃんは本当にそのサンドイッチには何の手出しもし
Give
なかっ
them
たの
all to
ね。
Bookworm. Like I would not want to dare
あれだ
touch
け荒
those
らされ
things.
たのに不思議だわ。タッパーに詰められていたおかげかしら。
違うと思います。
Oh, hold on. I pressed the wrong button. Hold on, I was gonna try and read. Had a bit of celebration today. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh shit, there was two different ones. Talked to ChatGPT about what happened and cried a lot, trying to hold myself from crying whenever I think about her. But I'm still trying. I'm glad to hear at least. Talked to Turtle Girl on Saturday. She said she just went to a concert and I planned to ask her how it went, but still hasn't. Didn't go to college today because it was raining hard and I just said I was sick as an excuse, plus just had a massive headache and really tired. Fair enough. Had a bit of a celebration today for her and that lifted my mood, and talked to my younger cousin. But my internet's dead now, so I am using data right now. So overall, I am alright, trying to keep living, but some things are kind of bad, like assignments on the internet, so you can just alright do it with the way I talk to you. I think you should start calling me a lot of shit. Don't worry about that, it happens.
このサンドは魔界さんの最後の手料理だから。文学さんに残してあげたかったん
And
じ
of
ゃない
course,
でしょう
like
か。
that's just the thing. Like often when we are like played game where someone is like a murderer, we basically just go like, "Oh yeah, you're a murderer because you basically are insane or something." But when they say now that it's like she just left them alone because she wanted someone to have it, it does make sense. Which is kind of how can they make it? Like they've done very good with the script because it made
優
me like
しい想像ね。
we feel bad. Like some of
そ
us
の
at
魔
least
界
feel
ちゃん
bad
当
for
人を
downtown.
殺した殺人鬼にそんな思いやりができるのかしら。
姉さん、俺も無能の兄さんに同意だぜ。渋谷の野郎はきっとこの手料理にだけは手を出せなかったんだよ。
Also notice my way of coping is just powerful. Those are places I remember her being. It's nice to remember that in the image. It's like you're still here. That is a really nice thought, not gonna lie. That is
殺
absolutely
人鬼だ
wonderful.
って人間だ。どこかしら心が壊れていても鬼畜にまでは成り下がれねえんだろうぜ。
渋谷さんは幼なじみを八崎港に殺されている。そんな彼女がなぜ八崎港に加担したのか理由が見えないね。
渋谷さんの強行の裏にはその親友の死が関わっていると思うんです。彼女が八崎港に浸水していたなんてどうしても思えません。
Downton gave us a hint about the Quartering Duke's case right before she died. Her face in those final moments looked so incredibly sad. There's no way to know what she was thinking then. Still, I want to believe that she was rooting for us to beat him in the end.
恨んでいるはずの八崎港にどうして手を貸したのか。その理由を紐解くことが八崎港事件を解決する糸口になると信じています。
なあ、私も同感だよ。この事件の裏に渦巻く妄執の種を暴かない限り、八崎港事件を解決することは難しいだろう。このまま奴の好きにはさせない。何をしてでも止めてみせる。
そのサンドイッチを含めて食料に毒が付着していないのは確認済みですよ。せっかくですし皆さんで
Give
食
the
べませんか？
sandwiches to Bookworm. She deserves them.
文学さん
I feel so bad watching this. Anyone else getting emotional by this? Tears well in Bookworm's eyes as he clutches a sandwich. Lips tremble and her voice falters as she fights to keep herself from weeping. I'm about to weep here.
文学さん、泣きたかったら泣いていいんだよ。
少女は私には泣く権利がないと思った。キュウリが嫌いだからといって魔界探偵がいくら作ってくれてもこのサンドイッチを食べなかった。一回もありがと
I
う。
can understand there was gonna be a moment like this with thought of how close they were, but god damn. Bookworm strains to speak in her usual manner, struggling with all her might to narrate from an objective, third-person perspective. Maybe all of this is coping mechanism for a girl who has already lost her beloved family once. Seeing her desperation is heart-wrenching. Really goddamn is.
お礼の一つも言えない。泣いたところで後悔の念しか湧き上がらない。
As I noticed, my way of coping is just oh, sorry, I just read that. It was just that it disappeared. It's kind of weird considering what happened recently, but I never thought that I would relate much with Bookworm until now. Yeah, fair enough actually.
少女は
Bookworm hides her face. She must understand this on a rational level. But it may be that her social awkwardness stops her from accepting the truth. I can sympathize, given my own interpersonal ineptitude.
文学さん、今日だけは僕たちにだけは弱さを見せてもいいんじゃないか。僕たちは君の味方だから。君の弱さを決して笑ったりしないし、懸念もしない。中井さんも仲間のことは信頼していたよね。だから文学さんも信じてほしいんだ、僕たちのことを。
Bookworm looks up, her gaze meeting mine. A tear escapes one of her eyes, running down her cheek as she stares at me.
少女は私は
I'm just yeah, there we go.
ちゃんとお父さんにお礼を言いたかった。
I was waiting for them to change actually the screen.
もっとたくさんのことを教わりたかった。お父さん、ごめんなさい。最後まで素直な娘になれなくてごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
It's as if all the tears she'd bottled up had burst from her eyes at the same time. Bookworm sobs unabashedly. It's shocking to see her like this, compared to how stoic she usually looks. As I thought, she'd been repressing these feelings the entire time. It's only natural. Detectives aren't perfect, flawless heroes after all. Like when Holmes and Mystic died, or when Downton defected to the enemy. I'm reminded once again that every DA member is just a human being. We sit alongside Bookworm in silence until she finishes crying. We do this in hopes that tomorrow she'll be able to take her first step going forward. We do this in order to support her, forever and always. This was a hell of a fucking nice moment, but also like, god damn. I feel even like I've said before how bad I feel for her, and that is not helping it at all.
そんな遠くから見守っていないで、家族さんも文学さんの牢屋に入ったらどう？心配だったんだよね、家族さん。この地下牢に入ってからずっと目で文学さんを追っていたし。
はあ、
っていますの？高貴な私が庶民の心配などするわけがありませんでしょ。
I'm glad I had the moment though.
私はた
As
だ
I said before, they done really well with the scripting of this. They don't just go from
様子を伺って
point
いた
Y
だ
to
けです
point
わ。
A. They basically have these like intermissions of learning
そう
about
い
the
うあなた
characters
の
of
方
feeling
こ
for
そ
them.
合流すればよろしいではありませんの？あなたの仲良しの庶民も一緒にいるのでしょ？不幸を呼び込む僕にあの輪に入る資格なんてないよ。僕さえい
I was
なけ
just
れば
looking at my
きっ
pocket
と
watch.
魔界さんも死なずに済んだんだ。
I'm just gonna take a picture of
僕
it
の
and
こ
let
の
you
体
post
質
in
は
Discord.
いつだって誰かを傷つける。誰かと一緒にいちゃいけないんだ。そんなことはないでしょう。あなたの力のおかげで実際に私たちは助けられているのですし。
I don't know, like you were the one that gets hurt a lot by your own
ほら、
power, but you haven't really hurt us. I was about to say one is missing, but it's only Renegade
家族
missing,
さん
and
は
to be honest,
手
I
を
don't
取
think
り
it
合え
would
る
be
人だ
here.
って信じてる。もし僕の身に何かが起こったら、僕の代わりに無能くんを助けてあげてね。不吉なことを言うんじゃありませんわよ。私がいる以上、もう八つ咲き子の好きにさせるものですか。私が必ず八つ咲き子を捕まえてみせますわ。
What is kind of funny is that this is nothing more than a hallway and cells,
そんなに笑うと
and no
文
one
学
can
さん
hear
たち
this
にバレちゃうよ。
conversation. How can no one hear this conversation? Before I know it, the morning has come. We gather in the area between the cells to eat breakfast. All 10 of us sit in a circle. In the middle is the food armor brought, as well as some cans that we found in the warden's room. Armor sits to my right and Bookworm to my left. The lady must have slept well. Her face looks livelier than when we spoke last night.
こうして輪になって食事をとるのもなんだか合宿のようで楽しいのである。
バカはお気楽で羨ましいですね。と少女はため息をついた。
I guess that's him in a
これ
nutshell.
だけ人数がいるのに食料はわずかなのです。看守室に残っていた缶詰を加えたとは言っても3日もあれば底をつくでしょう。可及的速やかに次の行動を定めなければ私たちは餓死しますよ。と少女は冷静に現実を述べた。
すまない。能天気すぎたのである。
Bookworm shuts armor down with ease. Her wordplay is quick as a whip, and her tongue sharper than ever. She definitely has her old energy back now.
文学さん、まだその口調は続けるんだね。
Bookworm smiles impudently as I quietly whispers to her.
頼りにならない大人が多いですからね。私はできる限り客観的な目線から推理できるよう注意しようと思います。私は必ず八つ咲き校の正体を暴いてみせますから。あなたも力を貸してください。と少女は信頼の眼差しを無能探偵。
I'm glad more people trust us in this game.
一緒に頑張ろうね、文学さん。
Her expression brightens. I can't detect the worry that had been present yesterday. She may need more time to fully recover, but progress is progress. I hope to stay by her and help her out in whatever small way I can.
上流階級である私が地べたに座って食事をするだなんて。ピンカートン家の人間として恥ずかしいですわ。
男らしくていいじゃねえかよ。日本人たるもの、やっぱりあぐら座りだぜ。
ヤマトちゃん、
Fair.
あなたは女の子なのだからもっと座り方も考えた方がいいと思うわ。 それに私を含め日本人以外の子も多いからね。
この缶詰、賞味期限が10年以上前ではありませんの？本当に食べられますのこれ？
I'm pretty certain cans can like live forever, to be honest, as long as they're sealed.
いちいちキャンキャン騒がしいやつだな。食べたくなきゃ食べるんじゃねえよ。幸い蛇口をひねれば水はいくらでも出るんだ。俺の経験から言わせてもらうと、1週間くらいなら水だけで生きていけるぜ。
I don't like the word of speaking from experience. You can survive a week with just water.
野蛮人のあなたと高貴な私の胃を同等に扱わないでくださいまし。
じゃあ食べるしかないわね。大丈夫よ。
But you know what? While people are on here,
錆びついた缶詰だ
on
けで
this weekend
1
and
ヶ
on
月食いつな
Saturday,
い
I
だ
am
こと
going
が
to
ある
something
わ。
called Bleached, which is
全
a
然大
it's
丈
a
夫に
LAN
思えませ
basically.
んわ。
But I'm not gonna go to the LAN part. I'm gonna go to like the more expo part and stuff like that. I don't really know what I'm gonna be able
大丈夫
to
だよ家
do.
族さん。本当に危ない
But
缶詰が混ざっ
I
てい
feel
た
like
ら
I might
僕の体が反
try
応して
to
くれると
record
思うしね。
or stream. Like I've never actually
缶
like
詰が長期間保
streamed
存できるのは無菌状態で密封するためです。
while going outside, and I don't know if that's even gonna work. To be fair, so I might actually just go with recording.
この地下牢の環境は日光がなく湿気も少ない
Hello, Meister. Welcome to the
相当に
stream.
長期間の保管が可能かと
I
思
hope
い
you
ま
have a
す。
good day today. Oh, I'm just
とは
scratching my head a bit as well.
科学くんもお菓子ばかりで缶詰をあま
I
り
am
食べて
uncertain if I'm allowed to even like record in this place. It wouldn't surprise me if you are. Like, it is basically a
科
game
学
place.
的な根拠があるとは言っても実
So
際
I'm
に
considering if I should. Also, there is actually a place for card and board games. That's nice because most of these is like
ひーくんが何も感じないなら
is
食べても大丈
basically
夫
like
さ。
a
めったに体験でき
LAN.
ないし、
There,
俺
people
は
get
たら
their
ふく缶
computer
詰を
with
い
them
た
and
だく
stuff.
とするよ。
I've checked. There isn't really like much
食
of
べ
like
過ぎて腹を
fun
壊さない
for
でくれ
me
よ。
to do because it's like a
いくら
Tekken
腐っていないとは
tournament.
いえ、
It is
不安
LAN
な食料
stuff,
であ
which
るこ
means
と
you
は
need to bring
間
your
違いないから
computer.
ね。
Esports United
さて、当面の問題は文学さんも
and
言ってい
stuff
た
like
通り、
that. But there's like, for
この
example, a
食料が尽
Geek
きるまでに
Bazaar, which is
何をす
nice,
るかだね。
which I'm gonna check. And there is like plays with
8日には毒
cards
ガスが発
and
生して
board
いて、
games,
仮に毒ガスで死ぬ前に洋館の外へ出られたとしても、
streamer stage.
例の
There are a
黒い
few
メタルが
streamers
つい
there,
て
but
いる。
I'm not gonna lie, I have
かといっ
never
て、こ
heard
の
of
地下
any
牢
one
で
of
救
them.
助を
I
待
am
とう
sorry
に
to say that,
食料を
but I have never heard of any one of them. A bit drained,
こ
Roxy
の
got
地
a
下牢に
surgery
も
done
隠し通
yesterday,
路があ
so
る
it
こ
was
と
a
を信じ
hectic
て
day.
調査を進める
Fair
のだろ
enough,
うかな。
actually. Absolutely fair enough. I can understand
俺も
shit like that
賛
is
成だよ。
hectic.
この
What's
地下
with
牢
this
に研究
website?
棟へ
It's
と
like
続く
having so
道があることは
difficult
間
trying
違い
to
ない
like
からね。
scroll down.
それはどうしてかな。何か確信するきっかけでもあったのかい？
What do they have? I'm gonna like.
実はさっき監守室で
I
缶
love
詰
I'm
を
trying
探
to
している
zoom
時
in,
に
but I can't zoom
こ
in
の
because
エレベ
this
ーターの
image
鍵を見
is
つけたんだよ。
apparently a standard ass shit. As I speak, Renegade Detective draws a key out from his pocket. The tag dangling below it does indeed read elevator.
エレベーターの鍵。この地下牢にはエレベーターなんてないのにどうして？
Yeah, so where is the elevator? Okay, so what do they have? They have the main stage, they have the ROG area, they have the different stages for the lawn stuff, because apparently they have different areas. They have like a Japanese area, they have another area. Also, I had a big issue with my PC today, so lately it's just been one thing after another, hoping for things to go upwards now. But how's the game going? The game is going well. You missed when Bookworm had a bit of a mental breakdown. I wouldn't, well, not mental breakdown per se, but this was the first moment, and probably one of the few ones we're gonna see when she actually becomes emotional from losing Mystic. Otherwise, I'm just reading about a glitched event that is gonna be here in Jönköping. So it's basically like Counter-Strike 2, Valorant and shit. Like, many of these things I don't really care about. Apparently GeoGuessr. cosplay, and other stuff. So it's kind of nice. I'm gonna go there on Saturday. On one of the maps, it does say they have cards and board games, but on another map, they say they don't have, so I'm confused. Yep, I can agree with that, because I basically had a mental breakdown a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely needed my parents to just come down here and just basically run things through with me. Because, yeah, I was losing it. But I'm glad everything is better now. But I hope things goes better for you as well, like it goes upwards soon, because it's not fun when shit like that happens. I have been there.
研究棟か。
その通り。おそらくこれは研究棟のエレベーターの鍵だよ。
Why do they have an elevator key down here for there?
さて、そうなると疑問が生じる。ここは洋館の地下だから、研究棟からはだいぶ離れているよね。用途のないものを保管するはずもない。どうして研究棟のエレベーターの鍵をこの地下牢で保管する必要があるのかな？
Yeah, when I say basically breakdown, she basically just burst out in tears. Mostly also because we managed to actually find these lost sandwiches he made.
惜しいね。全然違うよ。無能くんならわかるかな？遠く離れたこの場所に研究棟のエレベーターの鍵が用意されているわけを。
Because the researchers comes down here. Think. If it kept here, that must mean there's a reason it needs to be here. The elevator key is required to be at a dungeon. In other words, the dungeon connects to the research facility.
つまりこの地下牢と研究棟はつながっている。
And that makes things worse because we were basically research subjects 10 years ago in this game. And this dungeon connects to the research facility for detectives. Yeah, that doesn't really bode well, to be honest.
ここから研究棟へ行けるなら、研究棟で必要な鍵が保管されていてもおかしくはないよね。
大正解。その通りだよ、無能くん。
How did it go with whatever went back for Downtown Park? Nope, he did not, because staying there would basically kill anybody. So everyone left. He only returned up there to get some food and Mystic's last sandwiches. Otherwise, she is still up there. We are down in apparently the basement, which is the area that we were trapped 10 years ago. Which is worrisome because this is the home base, as I said, for the detective agency.
研究棟のエレベーターには地下へと移動するボタンはなかった。この鍵を使うことで、地下と地上とをつなぐ操作が可能になるんじゃないかな。
なるほど。
Yep, you have to understand that this guy isn't one of the smartest in this group. So yes, he went back for food. And not only food, but very specifically also as well. Well, not just this, because it brought food so we can actually have something to eat for a few days. At least 3. He brought Mystic's last sandwiches. So yeah, he did. He went up while everyone else was supposed to be sleeping and basically went to grab food. While the place was still poisonous, mind you. It's a fine because Techie has a anti-toxic deodorant or something. That's not what it was called. It had a proper name, but the name reminded me of a deodorant. But yeah, he's not the brightest in the bunch here, so it doesn't surprise me.
この牢獄にも必ず地上へと続く隠された道が存在するんだよ。
Yeah, it would not surprise me.
この食事が終わったらみんなで捜索しようよ。探偵は助け合い。だからね。
Still don't like this guy, but he has been giving us some good hints now and then. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about him. Renegade Detective asks this uncharacteristic question with a smile. Given his past actions, I'm fully suspect he has an ulterior motive. Would not surprise me. But for now, Renegade Detective makes a good point. Everyone wants to escape from this place. It would be the best to do so together.
どう探せばいいのかな。
オーソドックスに考えれ
Another
ば
secret door.
通路を開く仕掛けがどこかに隠されているはずだけど、この地下室は監視室以外にそもそも調べられそうなものもないよね。
ゲームだと
This is worse
奇
than
妙な
home
石
when
像
it
や
comes
絵
to
画があっ
food.
て
When the right
何ら
mind
かの
goes
アク
back
ショ
to
ンを起こすと
poison
道が
to
開い
place
たり
for a
する
few
んですけど
sandwiches. Well, first of all, it was the person's last sandwiches. Second, also, yes, more food. Yeah, but I don't know. It's not. I would not say Homer because it wasn't like sure. Yes, it was just for food this time. But he would basically do anything to just help someone, and was like, okay, I can help by doing this, getting food and getting the sandwiches. He doesn't think further than that.
考えると分かりやすい仕掛けがあるはずもないでしょう。知ってさえいれば簡単に開けて、知らないと
So
絶
it's
対
not
に
like
見
it,
つけられない。
it was his last will or something like that. It was a dude's
どこか
sandwich.
の壁にスイッチ
Yeah,
がある
that
と
this
考え
girl
るの
cried
が
over.
妥当なのでは。
That's the only thing I can
少
say.
女は自ら
Like, I
の
can't really explain his actions. The only thing I know is basically, even like last
確
time
か
we
にそうだね。
we played this game,
これだけの広
he
さだと
wanted to throw
壁に仕掛
hands
けを施せばバレる
against
心
the
配もほとん
goddamn
どないだろう
robot
し
who actually made a dent in his armor.
じゃあ早速みんなで探してみようか。
He's definitely not the brightest.
ここで少しでもタンパク質を摂取しておかなければ体力不足は必至。缶詰を食べるしかない。食べるしかないのですわ。
She's worried about the canned food
Isa.
because it was like expired a few years ago. Unopened, by the way.
あらやだ、美味しいですわ。全然いけますわね、この焼き鳥缶。
Doesn't matter how much armor
でも
shines if
さすが
inside
に
or
この
dull.
イワシ缶は
That is fair, and people have more or less said the same thing.
美味しいではありませんの。缶詰など恐れるに足りませんわね。
Well, congratulations for you.
花の色は移りにけりないたずらに古き三好をたぶる間に。
私で一句読むんじゃありませんわよ。
Posh sometimes is just posh. That's all I can say. After breakfast, we begin a thorough sweep of the dungeon, several hours into the process. Several hours? Like, we saw a map of this place. It has this corridor with these cells. It has 2 extra corridors on the other left and right side with 4 more cells. And a room in the corner, plus the exit we came from. We must really be sweeping things with that comb, if, like, not even a comb, like, a toothbrush if it takes hours. We failed to turn up much of anything.
無能くん、文学さん、監視室の調査はどうだった？
監視室の中には特に変わった仕掛けはなかったよ。
Jesus.
壁にスイッチらしきものの影も形もないから、これ以上は調べても意味がないんじゃないかな。ただ、暗闇で光る蛍光塗料を見つけたから入り口に塗ってみたんだ。これで深夜に監視室のトイレを使いたくなっても暗闇で迷わないと思う。
Okay, fair enough.
この力を明かりが消えると本当に何も見えなくなるもんね。助かるよ、ありがとう。
やはりだだっ広い壁を
We already know it's gonna be some sort of secret base here because apparently there's a key for the research facility, which is further away from the entrance where we were.
そっちはどう？何か仕掛けは見つかった？
ちょうど壁の調査が半分くらい終わったところだけど、成果はゼロかな。ほら、みんなあそこで調査を続けているよ。
A follow dolphin indicates to see armor and the others running their hands along the wall. Or walls.
この壁もおかしな様子はないのである。本当に隠し通路などあるのであろうか。
For a second, forgot that dolphin is a dude. Everyone
気持ちはわかるけど、もう少し頑張ろう。
I'm pretty certain Gan even searched up who actually voiced them.
洋館にあれだけ仕掛けがあったんだ。
Someone who even voiced a girl in
きっとこの
like.
地下牢にも何かしら仕掛けが施されているはずだよ。
No, it was not called Vein. Might have been
社
called
畜さ
Vein.
んの言う通りです。この地下牢には妙な点が多すぎます。
So yeah, it is really easily to God and
僕
forget
らが
about
進ん
that.
できた隠し通路は確実に地下へ地下へと進んでいきました。単なる牢獄にここまでの深さは必要ないはず。何か地下深く潜る理由がなければ納得できません。
そうは言いましても、何度調べたところでどの牢屋も全く同じ構造だったではありませんの。まさかこの場所は本当にただの牢獄だとでも言いますの？
Yeah, but why keep it so goddamn far
科学
away
ちゃんの
then?
言う通り、単なる拘束が目的の地下室にしては隠し方が凝りすぎているわよね。
ああ、ちまちまちまちまもどかしいぜ。どうせ隠し通路はどっかの壁の奥に隠れてんだろ。だったら片っ端から壁をぶち抜いてみればよくねえか？
Well, that's a way of doing things.
それは危険だよ。この地下牢が崩落したら全員生き埋めになっちゃう。明暗ですね。壁を蹴りつけてみましょう。と、少女は大和探偵の案
Are you
に同意
doing
した。
that to make her just do something, or are you actually agreeing?
文学さん、普段は冷静な君まで一体どうしちゃったの？
飛躍くん、落ち着こう。きっと文学さんには考えがあるんだよ。
Bukon gives me a smile as she continues on. Yeah, I'm
隠し
wondering.
通路がある壁は奥が空洞になっているはず。つまり蹴った時の音が他とは違う
Excuse
は
me,
ずです。
have no one actually tried to like
少女は
kick
自
it?
らの案を補足した。
I basically imagine here basically going past the walls, knocking on them. Perhaps not with my hand because that would be hard. But taking something just like knock, 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 knock. No one even thought of actually doing that. And instead just run their hand over the wall like I'm gonna see if I can find a crevice in here somewhere.
なるほど。壁に広がる衝撃を
They have
調べ
done
よう
this
と
for
思うのなら
hours.
多少乱暴であっても蹴りつけるくらいの衝撃が必要よね。
Yeah, Rowdy looks like she loves it. Go ham on the wall if you want.
音の違いはわずかだと思いますけど、わかりそうですか？
ウサギの聴力を持ったこの大和探偵様をなめるんじゃねえぜ。藁の上に落ちた針の音だって聞き分けてみせろ。
Unko-san.
ヤマトちゃん
Someone
な
might
ら
have had.
眠ってい
If
る
not
時
me
に
at least, I know one did not say
忍び寄
that.
ってもすぐに気づいちゃうくらいだものね。本気で集中すれば本当にどんな音だって聞き分けちゃうわよ。
Oh, welcome back. Well, that's a way of proving that her sense of hearing is good. She even catches me when I'm trying to sneak up and hug her good night. I'll indulge this sense. Oh, fair enough.
まあとにかくありがとう大和さん。責任重大な役を任せちゃってごめんよ。
上等だよ。さっさと始めようぜ。
I'm actually waiting. With our plan in place, we take turns kicking the walls. Of course, this guy's gonna take it.
音が奥まで響いてね。次だ。あんた見かけによらず脚力もすげえのな。だが音は奥まで響いてね。隠し通路はねえな。
肉体労働は苦手なんだけど。
おいおい、そんな音じゃどちらにせよ響かねえぞ。社畜のおっさん、普段から足音も小せんだからシャキッとしろよな。
ごめん、私は本当に頭脳労働以外はからっきしなんだよ。
I think it was my phone actually that.
よく見とけ。蹴りってな、こうやるんだよ。
すごい蹴り。絶対に蹴られたくない。
Well, don't be.
そしてビンゴだぜ。
This is that.
今音が壁の奥で響いていくのを感じた。この場所、ちょうど中央の壁に隠し通路がある。間違いね。
私の見立て通り、やはり隠し通路はあったようですわね。さあ皆さん、この隠し通路を解くためのスイッチをみんなで探しますわよ。ほら、飛躍さんもシャキッとなさい。探索があなたの得意技なのでしょ。今こそあなたの出番ですわ。
Well, he's good at finding traps. Dolphin stumbles as Polly shoves him from behind. He loses balance and falls on his butt, and then... I hear something that gives me a bad vibe. Oh, God.
まさか飛躍くんがこけたところに隠し通路のスイッチが？
He said bad vibe. To be honest, Dolphin is a danger magnet. I would grab this shit out of him and just go to the other end. The hidden passage screeches open. Screech open, I don't know. Well, that looks even more
飛躍
ominous.
くんすごいよ。ナイスファインプレー。
I run over to Dolphin, who's still on the floor, and help him up with a grateful hand. Now, this was the making of a great detective, finding crucial clues without even meaning to. What an incredible power. Power or luck, I don't know which one. Hopefully we can now get out of this seedy underground maze. Thank goodness things took a turn for the better before our food ran out.
待て、ワト君。早まってはいけない。
Yeah, because Doleful here is a danger magnet. It is dangerous over there. Holmes appears before me with a grave expression.
飛躍くんの体質はただ重要なものを引き寄せるのではないだろう。罠や証拠品といった彼の身を危うくするもののみだ。
Yeah, and that is what is worrisome
そんな
right
彼
now.
が発見した通路ということは、通路が何かしらの事件の手がかりとなっているか、もしくはこの通路の奥に危険な何かが待ち受けていると考えるのが自然だろう。
さあ皆さん、リーダーである私に続きなさい。こんな誇りっぽい地下なんてさっ
I
さと
would
立ち
grab
去るの
anyone
ですわ。
trying to go through that door.
ダメだよ家族さん。きっとこの通路には危険な何かがある。
I'm waiting for the big ass robot to pop up. Jesus. That was also our power of future. Yeah, the moment. The moment. Why did they name it the moment? As show me the future. This vision will soon become reality.
危ない。
I yanked Porsche's arm back without a second to spare. Sharp metal spikes then darted right where Porsche was standing, mere moments ago. If I hadn't grabbed her, if I hadn't seen the future, she would have died on the spot.
通路から何が飛び出してきましたの？
Didn't I mention the robot popping up soon? Has he been standing outside there waiting for us, or is there two of them? As if in response to Porsche mechanical wiring rings out from the tunnel. I heard this sound before, but before I have time to ponder, its source appears directly in front of us. A big-ass trash can. Wait, that thing doesn't have knives. Hold on. Let's see if I can hide this. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has knives. This thing has spikes. This is another robot. The color and size are different. This is the same type of machine that took Holmes' life. Mechanical noise identical to the black robot's collar resounds through the dungeon. This one is pure white, smaller and around my height, no more than 5.5 feet max. But the sound which alone makes my hair stand on end and the robotic murderous intent I sense from it are just as I recall. The image of Holmes' death flashes unbidden in my mind. I know where we have to flee, but my body won't move. My traumatic fear dulls my reflexes. If I don't act fast, I'll... Of course this guy is gonna do this. What could they be planning? Charging the damn thing.
武装の兄さん分かってるよな。まずは一発ぶち殴ってから考えるのだ。
They slam their fist into the mech at the same time, sending it flying backwards down the passageway. Both of them are bursting with energy, despite having just bashed a remarkably hard surface. They really give Iron Fist a new meaning. That's the side of the point.
何をやってるんだよ。殺されるかもしれないんだぞ。
危険は100も承知だよ。でもな、頭を取った野郎が目の前に現れたんだ。
一発殴らないと気が済まなかったのだ。許してくれ、無能殿。
Well, what was I saying before about especially armor, but yeah, these two. The words are blunt and varnished. Much like them, but ultimately they've lessened the shock of the surprise attack and brought us time to think. I'll have to remember to thank the two of them.
例の針が来るぞ。
よし、我の鎧で受け止めるのである。
Spikes fire down the passage, striking armor's metal exterior. True to his words, they don't even leave a scratch. All of a sudden, the spikes begin to flash.
武装さん。
Armor drops as the white mech reappears out of the passage. Upon close inspection, I can see 3 vents on his body like air holes. Black wire trails from each one. The wires connect to the spikes that struck armor and are now retracting into its body. There's also a camera-like device atop of its head, which watches us intently.
何なんだこのメカは。
Oh, hold on, I'm just gonna stretch a bit. Oh, good, it's a stretch. It looks like a metal can that's been painted a blinding white, and yet that camera freezes me in my tracks. It wouldn't surprise me, like this thing was chasing them 10 years ago. It's kind of understandable he is like traumatized twice by this thing. Precisely because of its simplicity that I can tell this mech is incredibly deadly.
皆さん、あの針にはまるで銃型のスタンガンのように高圧の電流が流れているようです。絶対に触れないでください。
武装の兄さんは平気なのかよ。
鎧を通じて感電しただけなのできっと平気です。ですが、それでも意識を失うほどの電流。もし針
に刺されたら即死って どうやって逃げればいいんだ。
We can't hide in the cells because this thing has a range attack.
僕がおとりになるからその間に武装さんを助けてあげてよ。
Dolphin shouts as he steps in front of the rushing mech.
飛躍君、何をやってるんだよ。
きっとこの状況も僕の体質が引き寄せたんだ。もう誰も僕の体質のせいで死なせたりしない。
飛躍君、離れていてくれ。おとり役なら私が引き受ける。
I'm actually kind of unsure what to do myself here because this thing is just like we are trapped in a room right now.
蹴りもまともにできないやつにおとり役を任せられるかよ。俺がおとりになるからフォロー役に回りな。
そうですよ。僕の聞き察知能力は知っているでしょ。絶対に生き延びてみせますから僕とヤマトさんに任せてください。
それはできないよ。私も今ではこのグループの最年長だからね。
It kind of makes sense because Dolphin can actually sense
それ
danger
に
and
筋
using
力は弱
someone
いけ
like
ど、実践の経験はそれなりに豊富なんだ。
なら好きにしろよ。俺は先に行くからな。
Oh, that's how the spikes look like. Oh, I see. I thought it basically shot spikes and like reloaded, but no, it basically has like those wires.
俺をぶっ刺したいなら面で攻撃してみるんだな。
You know what I would do? Like, it wouldn't really fully work as long as it has a stun gun actually. Rowdy throws a taunt as she launches herself to the side, dodging the spikes with ease. She's so agile you'd think she was a cat. That looks like the turret's portal just with spikes instead of Gatling gun. Yeah, I was about to say like if those spikes missed, I would grab one and just make a knot on the like one of the bars in the cells. But I kind of retracted that thought because yeah, it has a stun gun thing. Otherwise, that would be a very good idea. Like if that thing cannot like detach them, it would basically just be like, oh, grab this, zoop, there we go. Fuck, he's stuck.
武装の兄さんの仇取らせてもらうぜ。
ダメだ、山津さん、伏せろ。
あ？
At that instant, a long spike thrusts out from the white mech. It grazes Rowdy's head, who ducked just in time before retracting into its body. Severed strands of hair dangle mid-air. Not only does it fire bullet-like spikes, it also has a spear for close-range stabbing. Workaholic warning, Rowdy's reflexes save her life. But a clod like me would have absolutely been rescued. Realizing she has a disadvantage, Rowdy jumps back, putting some distance between herself and the mech. Without missing a beat, it fires more long-range spikes at Rowdy, but they don't connect. She nimbly dodges them once again. There's a limit to her stamina though. She can't go on forever. Eventually both of them will end up killed. We need a way to break the impasse.
そうだ。こんな時こそエンドシーイングで未来を予知すれば打開策も見えてくるんじゃ。
落ち着け、ワト君。今この状況で最も求められるのは冷静な思考だ。
Almost peers into my face, derailing my train of thought.
エンドシーイングは未来での結果だけを見る力。過程を把握できない以上、今ここで見たところで意味はない。
Fair enough. Basically passed out last time.
探偵には常に冷静に現実を見極める判断力が必要なんだよ。
I thought I turned on the automatic. Apparently it
仲
turned
間
off
が死ぬ
again.
かもしれない時に冷静じゃいられないでしょ。
I snapped back harder than I meant to. My own volume surprised me. I asked Holmes another question.
この力について何か知ってるんですよね。あのメカのことも知ってるんじゃないですか。教えてくださいよ、あのメカの対策を。
知っているならむざむざと殺されたりしないさ。
Fair enough.
それはそうですけど。
That's a fair ass point. If I knew something, I would have been dead. Yeah.
奴の発する音に耳を傾けてみるといい。
無能探偵、独り言ばかり口にして頭大丈夫ですかと
They were fine with just talking to a
顔を
ghost.
覗き込んだ。
Bookworm noticed me acting strangely enough to warrant pointing it out. I thought she heard what I said, so I'd better make up an excuse.
ごめん、平気だよ。あのメカを止める手段がないかと頭の中でいろいろとシミュレートしてみたんだ。
ああ、シミュレートはあなたの得意技だそうですねと少女は納得する。
うん、そうなんだよ。そしたらなんだかあのメカが発している音に違和感がある気がして。
なるほど。それでは確認してみましょうと言うと少女は目を閉じ聴覚
Bookworm then performs the very action she just narrated.
文学さんは何を。
さすが文学くんだ。音の違和感というヒントだけで気づけたか。ちなみに私への返答は声に出さずとも心の中で呼びかければいいぞ。君
I'm
の
kind of
心の
worried
声は
what my
私に
cursed
届いている
thought
のだから
was.
な。
早く言ってくださいよ。
Yeah, she can read thoughts. Bookworm remains focused, listening to the noise as Holmes and I go back and forth. You know how Bookworm narrates everything that's currently happening and the reaction to it? Yeah. I'm kind of worried actually where this is going right now.
読了です。科学探偵、ボイスレコーダーで機械音を録音し 0.1 倍の速さで再生することは可能ですか
1/10 of the speed.
少女は尋ねた。
Well, definitely when she's older, but yes, the thought of someone doing something like that would just be... Yeah, I don't even know really like how to even comprehend if someone ever would do something like that.
0.1 倍の速さでわかりました。やってみます。
Becky connects his D-pad to his wheelchair with the cord and begins to operate it. The wheelchair, which apparently has a built-in speakers, begin to play the audio recorded on his D-pad.
次は再生速度を下げます。
We all stare at Gabe when Becky slows it down.
風の通り道は3つのうち1つだけ。風の通り道は3つのうち1つだけ。
So you mean that mechanical noise isn't just a mechanical noise, it's actually like something that's been like sped up?
声って八つ咲き校の。
It's identical to the one I've heard in all the Quartering Duke's videos. And for what it's actually saying.
やはりメッセージを発信していたのですねと少女は自らの推理が正しかったことに安堵した。あのメカが寸分たがわず同じ音声を繰り返していたことは記憶を照らし合わせることで分かりました。
つまり何か意図を持って発している音、周囲へのメッセージなのだと思ったのです。
Yeah, but
少女は自らの行動の理由を補足した。
nah, I don't need that kind of. Yeah, now when you basically narrated the shit out of that, I was like, all right, yeah, no thanks. I rather, yeah, I was about to say.
すごいよ、さすがは文学さん。
We got 2 for 2 of the same goddamn thing. Yeah, yeah. Oh, good lord. Yeah, that is a weird ass thought. I can understand when being half cursed. It's both like it depends on like who it is. Like for me, it's just nah, no thanks. Take your hand without a second thought, singing your praise. Response without looking at me.
問題はここからです。あの言葉の意味を読み解かないと少女は愚かな無能探偵をとても冷静に諭すのであった。
Yeah, kinda.
そうだね。風の通り道は3つのうち1つだけってどういう意味だろう。
危ねえ、避けろ社畜のおっさん。
Workaholic is sent flying, but the mechs attack him. A flurry of shots rings out like gunfire. The machine fires its spikes, aiming to strike Workaholic the moment it lands. I don't have time to shout his name as the spikes bear down on him. But then...
やっと罠にかかってくれたね。
Spike stop a hairbreadth away from his face.
どうして針が
よーく目を凝らして見てごらん。
I am worried because the way he said that it was a trap was like kind of worrisome. Also, we're gonna have an ad in 5 minutes.
ワイヤーが針に巻きついている。
How or when did this happen? I followed Renegade's advice and looked closer, spying the glint of a wire wound around the spike. And that very wire is also extending out of Workaholic's wristwatch.
洋館の罠にも使われていたワイヤーソーで針を絡め取ったんだよ。
Okay, that is more worrisome because if he has the same wire as in the one that killed the old guy in the manor. That's some red flags, dude.
社畜探偵はわざと隙を作って針を発射させたんだろうね。さあ。
Also, he's talking like he's always like a normal dude. He basically had that thing in his wristwatch. Look, he stopped those things like a ninja. I'm sorry, but wires would be worse trapped to stop attack that are linear towards you. Now a slash would be another thing, but thrust attack, nope, and wires would be useless. Yeah, I guess if somehow managed to do it, that it actually stopped the cables from going further out. To make moves around, beeping and whirring it as it drags the wire and Workaholic both in a frantic attempt to retract its spikes. Good lord, Kenny, I do love you say it's like cursed. Somehow it kind of stuck with you, didn't it? Rolly does his best to maintain his balance, but his face is contorted in pain.
社畜ちゃんがいつまで時間を稼げるか。お手並み拝見と行こうか。
何をバカなことを言っていますの。早くあのメカを破壊してでも社畜さんを助け出しますわよ。私が先駆けとなりますわ。皆さんもついていらっしゃい。
What are we gonna do then?
やめておいた方がいいよ。弾丸型の針はそうそう当たらないかもしれないけど、近づいた時に飛び出してくる針は凶悪だ。ヤマトちゃんみたいな野生児でもなければ、 一瞬でモズの早煮えになるのがオチだね。
Yeah, I think the only thing we can do here right now is just like wait.
それはそうかもしれませんけど。
It's frustrating, but Renegade Detective is right. Anyone charging in without a plan will get the tables turn on them for sure. Clearly, there is no choice but to solve a riddle we found in its transmission.
風の通り道は3つのうち1つだけ。
Oh, I think I got it. I don't know when, but I think they discussed that those 3 holes on the robot on the front, not those big ones with the also, what was that big ass message? Oh, that was the normal message, or not the normal, but yeah. But basically, I think someone said that the smaller holes underneath its big eye was like vent holes. So what if it means that the wind passes through only 1 out of 3 holes? That means there's something going on with the 2 other ones. Not that I know if it's supposed to stop the air vent from going inside the mech, or if you need to hit the other 2 holes for it to stop.
3つの風穴というの
Oh, I
は
was right.
おそらくメカのボディの穴。その中の1つに弱点があるということではないかしら。
I was right.
それに違いありませんわ。では早速あの穴を攻撃してみますわよ。
Not gonna lie, but Gome kinda reminds me of a character from the Sengoku Asada series. Mostly the black outfit and the blonde hair. So not the rest that basically sticking out on her though.
攻撃したらまずいと思う。
That is true.
無能くんの言う通りだよ。高圧の電流を武器とするメカ相手に間違った穴に攻撃を仕掛けてごらん。きっと内部の電流に感電して真っ黒焦げさ。まあそれはそれで面白い光景だけどね。
Where would Gome go? I think it's like this. Try to stop a bullet with a tennis racket made of steel. It might reflect a few bullets from hitting exactly a string, but the majority of the bullets would make holes in you. That is true. That is true. But as I said as well, they are like stuck in a string. So if they were fast enough, then yes, it would basically hit him. And this is a game, so yeah, there is like less sense here. But they did basically make a knot on the spike strings, so instead of stopping the spikes themselves flying towards him, to stop the thing, basically keep making them able to go forward. That's more or less like a logic that does both work and doesn't work.
お願いがあるの。
It's like a half-assed logic. Gome calls out to Road and Rowdy, who has been maintaining her distance from the mech. Locks eyes with her, speaking in an uncharacteristical serious tone.
5秒の間だけ。そのメカの動きを止めてちょうだい。
相変わらず無茶を言うぜ。10秒だけで勘弁してくれよな。
We have an ad right now, so I'm just waiting a moment. Well, I actually have to take a photo of this pocket watch. It's a nice pocket watch. Like it wasn't that expensive either. Like I don't know why. I have something for pocket watches. I've not gotten any though, just because of how goddamn expensive they are. But this was like around 150 Swedish kronor, which is expensive, but like I have seen much more expensive ones. And it works. I can't show you really like that it is working. That wouldn't work. Friction doesn't work like that. The amount of force the wire would need to make it way higher than the force of the pole. The spike is attached. It needs to just, the wire is trying to stop it. Fair enough. Fair enough. As I said, mine was just a half-assed logic. Let's see here. I'm gonna send my photo in real life. Do I have it in real life? I think I have. Give me a second. Like, I made my own channel, but I'm a bit uncertain. Like, I'm pretty certain that, like, yeah, in real life photos. There we go. There we go. Sharing the pocket watch with people. And the ad is about to break. The ad break is about to be over. Rowdy turns back to the mate and sprints towards Workaholic.
社畜のおっさん、そのままワイヤーを掴んでてくれ。
何を
He then grabs the arm of Workaholic, using to hold the wire saw, and pivots her hips as if swinging a bat. Up until then, the white mech had been pulling Workaholic by his wire, but now the scale had tipped. Does Rowdy plan to drag the mech around?
使いごときのパワーじゃ、おりゃ止められねえんだよ。
Rowdy bellows as she snaps her arm around. Your logic isn't wrong, it's just it wouldn't work out. Not in this setting, at least. It would have made more sense if they made a layered wave with a virus to make a shield. It's not the best against penetrating attack, but still better than what they did. Maybe they should let Renegade do the robot first and see what happens. Maybe use it as a distraction, cooperation, firing squad. Jesus. Fair enough. I think the mech just hit the wall. The mech topples over, pulled by the wire. The sound of metal scraping against the floor booms through the underground passage. He actually managed to stop the mech from moving with nothing but raw brute strength. The mech, durable as it is, stubbornly attempts to pick itself up. It's already too late.
ナイスよ、ヤマトちゃん。
In Gomer's hand is a knife she always carries around with her. What is she planning to do with that?
はい、ごちそうさま。
She thrusts the blade as hard as she can into one of the mech's holes. The mech makes a robotic cry of distress. Yeah, I really do like the watch. It's a really nice watch. Oh. The sound then breaks apart, growing steadily quiet. Okay. Finally, the light on the camera shuts off, and the mech ceases to make any noise.
お粗末様でしたと。
Gomer takes her knife out of the hole, wiping it clean with a napkin before returning it to her pocket. Ah, sorry. On the weekend there was a market, and I got a pocket watch. So I shared a pocket watch in the in real life photos channel.
すげえよ、姉さん。
That is the
どうして
watch.
弱点が分かったんだ？
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. How did you know it was specifically that one? Rowdy breaks the silence and clings on Gourmet, who begins explaining as she comforts her.
簡単な話よ。みんなが話している間、私はあの3つの穴から漂ってくる匂いを嗅いでい
You
たの。
sniffed the different odors coming from the holes? That doesn't sound good.
するとね、穴の中に一つだけ金属ではなくゴムの風味が感じられたわ。 つまりこの白ケーキちゃんの動作に関連した大切なケーブルが隠れていると思ったわけ。
But fair enough.
匂いなら俺も嗅いでたけど、そんな匂い全然しなかったぞ。
もう私は美食探偵なのよ。鉄分とゴムの味くらい簡単に分かって当然じゃない。
I don't know if that makes sense, but sure. Gourmet lava says it's no big deal, but iron and rubber, for that matter, aren't food at all. But I'll choose to keep that comment to myself.
科学君、このメカの検証を頼めるかな。
Oh yeah, please inspect the goddamn thing.
はい、任せてください。
Take it apart as much as you just can.
何も活躍できなかった。
But first of all, you did contribute. What you did was basically open up the door which we needed.
何を言っているのだ。飛脚殿は他の皆々が推理している間に我を安全な場所まで運んでくれたではないか。本当に活躍できなかったのは我の方である。ここから活躍し、何としてでも汚名を返上せねば。
鎧の庶民の言う通りですわ。何もできずに歯がゆいのは私も同じですが、決して引け目に感じたりしませんわよ。
I guess that's a fair point.
この借りを返すほどの活躍をすればいいだけなのですからね。
And of course, Armor's being the best supportive bro ever. Yeah, exactly.
強い人だね。
After being tased by the daggers themselves.
ありがとうと少女は無能探偵へのお礼を口にする。
文学さん、さっきはって何のこと？
Can you imagine they showed the armor later and it was
あ
actually
なたが
everyone?
音のヒントを出して
That
く
would be
れなかったら
interesting.
謎を解くのに時間がかかって怪我人が出ていたかもしれません。少しだけ見直しましたよと言って少女は微笑みかける。
Look what smile crosses my heart. Do something. That clue didn't actually come from me. Holmes was the one who told me about it, while I didn't do a single thing at all.
ありがとう。少しでも
She's not
活
the
躍でき
true
るように。
posh lady who does
もっと頑張
too
るよ。
much ha ho ho instead of ho ho ho. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, actually. Nevertheless, I express my gratitude. Carrying this dismay in my heart, I vow to become proper detective in my own right.
下道探偵、君ならすぐにあのメカの動作を止めることができたんじゃないのか？
俺を買いかぶりすぎだよ。そんなに俺が信じられないなら首輪を起動させればいいじゃないか。それとも起動しないのではなくできないのかな。首輪を起動させるための条件を知らない、もしくは条件を達成させることが困難な状態。
I'm still worrying about his watch he has.
勘違いしないでくれ。私は君のことを仲間だと信じている。信じたいとも思う。だからこそ、本心を知りたいだけなんだよ。
なんだっていいさ。俺が今そそられているのは一人、いや、二人だけだから放っておいてくれ。
Oh, sorry.
無能くんとあの子をどうすれば俺たち側へ引き込めるか気になって仕方がないんだよ。
Okay, well, was that a private conversation or did we all hear that? We begin investigating the tunnel the mech appeared from.
無能君、何か見つかったかい？
いえ、それが例のメカのバッテリーを充電する装置らしきものがあるくらいで、他には何も見つかりません。
なるほど。それであのメカはこんな場所に長年放置されていても元気に動き回れたというわけだね。
Yeah, kind of true.
力の塵や埃の溜まり具合から考えても、放置されていた期間は1年や2年といったレベルじゃない。 相当に腕のいい人が開発したことが伺える。
Yeah, it was probably 10 years ago.
せっかく隠し扉を見つけたのに、ただのトラップだったんでしょうか。
いや、それにしては手が込みすぎているよ。侵入者を撃退したいと思うなら、わざわざ隠し通路に仕掛ける必要もないだろう。
True.
この通路に隠された何かを守る意味合いがあったと考えるのが自然だ。もっともこの暗さでは何かあったとしても
Isn't no
見つ
one
けよ
that
うが
has
な
a
い。
flashlight or something?
科学君に証明でも作ってもらった後にまた改めて調査をするのが良さそうだね。
Group takes turn resting and searching. But all we managed to find is the cable something. Jesus, wait, hold on. Exactly. And while she has done it, it's mostly been the haha, not the ho-ho. Yeah. A cable for charging the mech. There's nothing else of note, or any clues leading to another hidden passage. For all the progress we thought we made, there is little to show for it. Today's efforts were in vain, and everybody is looking fat.
皆さんどうなさいましたの？表情に気合が感じられませんわよ。
家族さん、
いつから隣にいましたの？
ずっといたよ。影が薄いだけでね。
I'm certain he's some sort of spy or
あのメ
ninja.
カと戦っていた時くらい
He's
の
way
存
too
在感
good
を
at
普段
coming,
から出
like,
しておきなさい。
I was about to say something there. Sneaking up from
ご
behind
め
me.
ん、前処するよ。
Not only that, but he had basically the wire saw in
ところ
his
で、
watch.
今日はもう調査を切り上げたいと思うんだけど、どうかな。
There is something off with him.
今日は例のメカとの戦いもあったし、みんな疲れていると思うんだ。
それはそうですが、食料に限りもありますのに、ここでこれ以上時間を使ってしまうのは。
その方がいいと思います。これ以上今日調査を続けるのは危険です。
科学君、浮かない顔をしてどうしたの？もしかして例のメカを調べて
Yeah,
何か分かったとか？
Well, it's gonna be a character arc at the end.
はい、大変なことが分かりました。
True Oji-sama. Nice.
あの白い子の名前は SPX01C。 正真正銘探偵同盟。
探偵同盟の技術を？どうして探偵同盟がこんなものを？
And that is still the problem because it was made of their technology. They have done this 10 years ago.
それは分かりません。ですが僕は探偵同盟の技術協力を受けた際に SPX シリーズと呼ばれる警備ロボットの資料を読んだことがあります。
それじゃあまさかこのメカは本当に探偵同盟が作ったってこと？
Yeah, this one doesn't really matter too much. It's the
そこ
one
までは分
back
かり
in
ま
like
せん。
10 years
仕組
ago
みさえ
that
分かれ
matters
ば
too much.
取り入れるのは難しくない技術ですから。
The good process proceeds to tell me everything he can about the SPX Sentry robot series. It uses some map data banks and laser sensors within its body to survey its surroundings and search for targets. Upon identifying targets, it switches to pursuit mode and hunts them down, neutralizing all in its way until it loses track of its prey long enough. Holmes must have died due to that, like SPX being in pursuit mode. What was that machine anyway? Why had it been deployed here, and what caused it to activate pursuit mode? We need to get out of here quickly. We'll never solve the mystery behind Holmes' death.
無能さんは追跡遊具クンクンくんを覚えてますか？
覚えてるよ。クローラーがついていて血の匂いを追跡するフレンズだよね。
ええ、あのフレンズのクローラーは探偵同盟から技術提供を受けて取り入れたものです。例の白い SPX にはそのクローラーと全く同じ技術が使われていました。探偵同盟が開発に関わったことは間違いあり
Still
ま
not
せ
a
ん。
good thing, though we thought of everything.
そして シリーズと関数以上他にも複数体の SPX が存在するはずです。もしかしたらこの地下室の中にもまだ。
あんな危ないメカがまだ他にも。
That also probably means that if the DA made these robots, the Quartering Duke, we already technically knew that Quartering Duke is one of us, or someone in the DA. And the problem then is that, give me a second, my brain. Yeah, it's very basically Quartering Duke is just part of us, I would say, which we already know. Because the guy also basically told us how to defeat this thing. The thought alone makes me shudder. All of us had worked together if we just knocked that last one out of commission. I don't even want to imagine running into another during our investigation. Not when we're all exhausted.
ありがとう、科学君。君が検証してくれて本当に助かったよ。家族さん、社畜さんの言う通り、今日はもう休みましょう。今の状態では別の SPX に勝てないかもしれません。でも、皆さんが万全の状態なら、きっとまた勝てると思うんです。
Yeah, I don't know why they would develop something like that. And the problem is that they did it 10 years ago when we were trapped down here. Because if you remember, his basically trauma dream is when the girl got killed by one of those robots. Which means that the DA basically did experiments on kids.
我も無能殿に賛成である。焦りは油断を。
So it's not really much why they would make a robot like that. It's more like what they did more other than the robot.
僕も賛成。家族さんの気持ちもわかるけど、今日は休もう。
少女は無言のまま皇帝の意志を込めてうなずいてみせた。
I really do like the story of this game. I'm like intrigued what's happening.
リーダーである私よりも無能な庶民への賛同者が多いだなんてどういうことですの？
There's also the question with the bunny people death at the start of the... Huh? I'm trying to figure out what you mean, Gani. Bunny people? Sorry, I just think I always hear something. Bunny people? I am confused. I am confused.
SPX を倒せたのも無能くんの気づきがあってこそだしね。まあ、そんな気にせずに。
気にしてなどおりませんわ。私が庶民に嫉妬するなどありえません。
The very first thing before we saw from our character's perspective was 3 people being dressed as bunnies and then one died. That's all I could remember because I was in college. Oh. Yeah, that is just basically him playing a game because apparently he likes to make the games. And it's as it is explained at the beginning after that, is apparently he likes to always try to kill 2 people. We were technically not the target, but we were almost the target. The first one out of 2, which was the old man detective, and technically than us, but that failed. Posh surliness strikes me as a bit peculiar, but either way, we suspend our search for the day, like Workaholic first suggested.
看守室に簡単な調理器具があったわ。缶詰ばかりの食事も寂しいし、私が簡単に夕食を作るからみんなで集まって食べましょう。やっほー！あれさんに飯を作ってもらえるなんて最高だぜ。またこの通路に集まりゃいいんだよな。ええ、看守室は狭いし椅子も足りないからここにみんなで集まって食べましょう。無能ちゃんや文学ちゃんも来てくれるでしょ。
はい、喜んで。文学さんも一緒に食べるよね。
I don't know, like, the only thing I remember is that basically we got like a question that one guy did something bad. No, not the guy did something bad. It was basically, I think he explained the two people, like one was an office worker and one did something for their life, in their life, and you were basically asked like, okay, which one of these is to basically kill? And then you said, okay, this. Then it basically started to say like, oh, but this other person used to be a bully back in the day and do this and do that. So the only thing I feel like that is a pattern is that even though the Cordring Duke has a certain pattern of killing two people, he seems to have some sort of vigilante way of doing it. Like, oh, you see these, you like these two, but did you realize how bad these people were? Something like that. That is just like an example. So I guess that's why it's going through the whole like detective, like we going through this right now, is because the guy knows that they are detective, they are the good guys, but did you know about their past? Something like that. I'm mostly just guessing, but that's like the only pattern I can like think of with thought of what's happened there. Because it basically started to explain like the other person we allowed to live is like, oh, but this guy used to be a bad guy. Did you know that?
我々ももちろんご一緒するのである。みんなでこたびの勝利を祝そうではないか。
僕がいるとまた例の警備ロボットみたいな危険と遭遇するかもしれないし。
ヤマトさんがいれば SPX の駆動音にだって気づけるはずです。むしろ今はみんなで集まって行動した方が良いと思いますよ。
We have fire alarm practice today.
言う通りだ。単独行動をしていて、みんなの気づかない場所で SPX と遭遇することだけは避けないと。
That is true. That is definitely true. I don't think it's like a personal thing. I think it's just like he knows something about the detective agency and it's like pushing shit up. Because, for example, he managed to basically make downtown become a murder as well. So I don't really know fully his plan. It's just like a little theory thing.
家族さんに下道くん。
私はただ例の通路に忘れ物をしたから取りに行こうとしただけですわ。一人でも調査を続けようなどとは思っていません。
You actually went through the passage? When? Why? I'm pretty certain that was a lie.
命じられるのは趣味じゃないけど、今日は素直に従うとするよ。俺もじっくりと観察したい人がいるからね。
And so we all gathered to eat dinner together. Despite the meager ingredients, Gorbel makes us delicious dishes from her Russian homeland. Oh shit. Everyone is all smiles, and the conversation never dies down over the course of the meal. Yeah. Essentially like Saw, these people have dark secrets. They may live or die facing trials. Made no sense, I guess. Holmes, however, broods all the while. Broods, I don't know.
何を考え込んでいるんですか？
妙な予感がするんだ。君たちは着実に前へ進めているはず。なのになぜかこの先に袋小路が待ち受けている予感がしてならないんだよ。私にはもうエンドシーイングは使えないのだがね。
Well, I can use it for you, and I'm probably just collapse.
あなたの代わりに僕がちゃんと未来を見ますから。もう誰も死なせたりしません。僕がこの力でみんなを守り抜きます。
エンドシーイングを過信してはいけないぞ、ワト君。
We have used it once, twice technically.
先ほどの SPX との戦闘でも言ったが、起こりうる結果を見たからといって未来を変えられるとは限らない。時には分かっていても避けられない結果もある。
避けられない結果。
Okay, I thought I turned on the automatic, apparently died down again. I think I grasped what she's saying, but it doesn't really mean much to me. During our fight with SPX, the outcome of stopping it didn't matter as much as the process of identifying and striking its weak point. But wouldn't knowing the SPX outcome naturally mean I know the process that leads to it?
今頭の中で考えている内容も全部私には入ってくるぞ。まあ腑に落ちないのもわかる。
I love we can basically have a outside voice, inside voice, and an inner side voice, but the inner side she can still hear.
ごめんなさい。
Basically speaking to her in her head and speaking to herself in her head. Lester apologized to Holmes, who has been listening in the entire time. Her expression grows downcast as she whispers softly.
いずれ君も経験をするさ。必ずね。
Again, I'm worried. Experience what? I've never seen her face look so somber. In time, evening comes.
科学くん
As I leave my cell to go to use the warden's room to shower, I see Teki working on something in the open area where we have eaten earlier. I was surprised to see what's in front of him.
科学くん、それって。
はい、例の白い SPX です。この先に何があるか分かりませんから、可能な限り分解して調べておこうと思ったんです。
一人でこんな大きいものを分解しているの
？I don't know why, but sometimes like that automatic thing
安心してください。
Oh, that's because of
一人じゃあ
pressing
りません
A.
よ。
科学の坊ちゃん、監修室から椅子と工具箱を持ってきたぜ。この椅子の上に工具箱を置いておきゃいいんだよな。
Did you manage to find the toolbox down here?
我は言われた通り、針に結びつけられていたワイヤーをちぎってきたのである。
お手伝いをしてくれてありがとうございます。
Okay, I'm kind of curious. How does this thing look?
僕は力仕事が苦手なのでとても助かります。
Jesus. Very hollow though. To be fair, like it does look like in a sense that it would work, in a way it would work. I think it's pretty amazing for doing all of this from a wheelchair, not gonna lie. That is fair actually.
武装さんとヤマトさんが手伝っていたんだね。どう？何かいい情報は見つかった？
ええ、バッチリ解析できました。電源のコードが切れて機能を停止させただけみたいで、内部の基板には傷一つついていませんでしたから。
I think we just break it, to be honest.
美食の姉さんがナイフを突き刺した穴の先にはコードがあったってわけか？警備ロボットのくせにそんな明確な弱点を作るなんざ理解できねえな。
It's a bit odd that it actually has a weakness like that, but
推測ですが、誤って組織の関係者を襲った場合の安全装置なのだと思います。コードが切れた程度ならすぐに修理が可能ですし。
科学殿、
that's an answer.
先ほど頼まれてワイヤーからちぎったこの針、妙に軽いぞ。金属が使われているのは先端だけなのであるか？
いえ、感電させる必要があるので内部にも軽い金属の芯が入っていると思います。ですが軽量化のためにほとんどは強化プラスチック製みたいですね。ほら、この迎撃用の長い針も羽みたいに軽いですよ。動きが鈍くならないよう必要な箇所以外は軽量化しているんでしょうね。
But I've also seen how some people build robots and making something internally work
全然重さを感じないね。
and then just look at it externally. It kinda does remind me of what we're looking at, where the outside is basically like, oh, this looks like this, but the inside is basically hollow with like everything just going haywire. I like how Armor's visors makes him look happy. Yeah, his visor just changed. Upon taking the long spike from Teki, I'm shocked how lightweight it is. These spikes seem as vicious as a beast's claw when we're attacked, but holding one now, it feels more like a toy.
あれほどの戦闘力を持ちながら実態はハリボテも同然とは。苦戦した身としてはもどかしい気持ちなのである。
軽量化は武器の基本だ。極論その針は先端をさせりゃ電流で相手を倒せるんだから、先端以外を軽くするのは当然だろうぜ。先端を重くすりゃ射出するのにも有利だしな。
なるほど。凶器として効率のいい構造なんだね。
They really designed this thing to just kill. The more we learn, the more I realize how deadly these spikes truly are. I don't understand why the DA would have created something like this.
にしても腹が立つメカだよな。いくら安全装置が用意されているからって探偵同盟のメンバーに襲いかかるなんてよ。警備
Also,
ロボ
from
ッ
a
トだって言うなら
half responsive, it's because I'm tired. I don't know, I just became tired like a half an hour ago.
それは仕方ありませんよ。この子はカメラに映ったものを無差別に追尾するようプログラミングされているのですから。そのように設定したのは僕たち人間です。SPX を恨むのは筋違いですから、どうか恨
You
まな
say
いであ
that,
げて
but
く
they're
ださい。
still designed to bloody kill. I can understand if they had like a built-in taser as a defense mechanism, but a spear and stabbing tips with electricity enough to kill someone? Yeah, that is definitely like that is not just someone who programmed it. That is basically someone who decided to kill it, to
そ
kill
んなこと
someone.
言われたってよ。リーダーだってこいつらに殺されたんだぜ。恨み事の一つだって出ちまうだろうよ。
僕たちが探偵としての役割を全うしているように、 SPX のようなメカたちも自分に与えられた仕事をこなしているだ
He
けなん
really
です。
likes his machines, doesn't he?
見てくださいよ、この手も足もないボディを。人々を見守り、脅威を排除するためだけに機能が洗練されています。武装さんのまとう鎧と同じです。
なあ、わかるぞ科学殿。我の鎧もその電子からくりと同じく命を守るために研ぎ澄まされたものだ。
I would not call this thing preserving life. What the fuck?
悪意を込め争いに利用するのはいつだって人間なのである。
ええ、その通りです。僕は SPX を悪用してリーダーを殺した犯人を絶対に許せません。
I can definitely understand their way of saying it's the human that did it and not the robot. But it's not just the guy who designed it, or who reprogrammed it that is basically to blame. It's also the person who designed the fucking thing. It's also kind of weird for them that to just attack the members willy-nilly. Like they don't worry that the robot might attach a DA member, so they made that failsafe. And that also means they were well aware of the fact that the robot would just attack anyone. Like no facial recognition and any safety precaution whatsoever. That is true, they didn't talk anything about that. It was basically like, I see someone, I will attack it. Zoom.
必ず逮捕してみせます。
探偵同盟に潜んだっていうのは確定なのかな。
犯人は研究棟の職員を全滅させただけでなく SPX の性能を知り尽くしています。
Nah, they didn't kill them. If I
探
don't
偵同
remember
盟の
incorrectly,
内
it
部に
was
深く入
downtown.
り込んでいて、かつ相当な恨みを持つ人物に間違いありません。僕らの中に潜んでいる可能性だって十分に考えられます。
So we got NSA minutes aside from downtown. This tragedy hasn't come to a close yet. Part of me honestly wish I could just ignore it. An hour ago we all enjoyed a meal together. Everyone chatting with smiles on their faces. I want to believe that that was all a lie. It's also having to suspect my companions like this.
何をくよくよしてんだよ、無能の兄さん。
Rowdy gives me a light slap on the head. Her eyes meet hers, she grins broadly.
もし俺たちの中に敵がいるとしても別に気にする必要ねえだろ。あんたが信じたいなら 信じていりゃいいじゃねえか。
でも僕が渋谷さんの正体に気づいていれば赤井さんは。
Well, I agree that it's very much up to how you use something, like a hammer, nails, and woods, but you can bash. Yeah, fair enough. When you use paper, you can roll it up. True, damn. However, some things are developed for the use of people. Just look at the microwave. Its first development was a weapon. I didn't actually think of that, but fair enough. It really is just a predator machine built to attack anyone, no safety precautions beside the one failsafe. And also the fact that it will go back from pursuit mode if the SPX has lost sight of the prey for a while. Yeah, exactly, so it's not just who programmed it or reprogrammed it, is basically like someone designed a goddamn mechanism.
半端な思いのまま行動する方が後悔が残らん。男が一度信じたならビッと最後まで突き進もうぜ。
山田さんは僕よりも
Yeah, so but you're right. It basically is developed for killing someone. So it's not just a whole reprogramming this thing that is like, oh, but it's their fault for reprogramming it. No, it is someone's fault for designing the damn thing to kill people.
ああ、こいつさ。
Roddy produces a small deck of cards from her pocket and begins shuffling them. True, the intended use of this chainsaw was not to use wood in the beginning. Would not surprise me. It looked like traditional anaconda cards, each emblazoned with plants, animals, and so forth. How are they supposed to help?
俺は迷った時、こいつを引くようにしてるんだ。1枚引いて桜の札が出たら5。それ以外なら
カード任せってそれはいいのかな。
That's the way of saying it.
考えてもみろよ。悩むってことは自分を信じられねえってことだろ。だったらよ、いざって時には自分より信じられるやつに頼りゃいい話じゃねえか。俺にとってこいつは自分よりよっぽど信じられる相棒なんだよ。
Ah. Fair enough. I don't think I am gonna Google it, but goddamn, I can just imagine them and like, Jesus.
兄さんも試しにやってみな。決意が固まるぜ。
She has a very interesting way of thinking. It's like, I have my gut feeling, but if I question my gut feeling, I think of the cards instead. Mother extends the deck of cards towards me. I freeze up and reflects. Should I continue believing we are friends as I have been? Or should I be more suspicious? Is it really something a deck should decide?
無能の兄さん、もっと気楽に考えな。
As if guessing my thought, Radhi comforts me with her hearty, energetic voice.
自分が本気で選ぼうとする決断なら、こんな札一枚に左右なんかされねえ。されるはずがねえ。自分が本当に選びたい選択を後押ししてくれるはずだ。
That makes actually a lot of sense. It's like, is this actually my choice? Draw a card. Don't like what the card says. Yes, I agree. Well, yes, I agree with myself. Also, I think yes, but... Fair enough.
だから引くんだよ。自分の決断を信じてな。
I love in a sense that you have a decision. I don't know which decision. Draw a card then. I don't like the card's decision. So what is your decision? Okay, I guess I go with my decision.
桜の札が出たらこうだね。やってみるよ。
I draw a card from Rowdy's hand.
どうだい？あんたの決意は固まったか？
うん、固まったよ。
I hand the card I drew to Rowdy. The cherry blossom on it, setting my resolve in stone.
もう迷ったりしない。僕は仲間を信じるよ。
That's actually is a very interesting way of just
もう消
making
灯
a
時間
decision.
か。そろそろ自分の部屋に戻ろう。
Moments later, the lights dim and plunge us into darkness. I start heading back towards the chair where we had left the toolbox Techie was using to analyze the SPX. Suddenly, I run directly into Dolful as he comes bounding out from the warden's room.
って無能くんたちか。びっくりした。
Dolful jumps back a bit. Judging by the steam and soapy aroma, is he even using the warden room shower?
飛脚殿は怖がりであるな。
いや、この暗がりだと仕方ないよ。すぐ前方のものだって見えないしね。
まあ俺みたいに視力や聴力が優れてなきゃ恐ろしいだろうな。
Dolful has a good sense, but only if something dangerous.
武装さんは特にそのお化けみたいだから。
Yeah, to be fair, he does look a little unnatural with thought of everyone else around here.
我が顔。
Having to use wounds
確か
right
に
now because
動く甲
my
冑ってオカル
go-to
トみたいだよね。
things have become
日本の
way
有
too
名なお城
expensive.
でも
Yeah,
そんな話があったような。
understandable.
非科学的な話はやめてください。早く帰りましょう。
おやおや科学の
I
おっ
was
さん
just
はも
thinking
し
now what I'm
や
gonna take for
お化
breakfast
け
for
が苦
supper.
手なのか。
You know what? I think when I make an egg sandwich for supper and
違います。
save
科学に
pancake
携わ
for
る者として
tomorrow
そのような
morning,
子供騙しの話は虫
so
唾
don't
を
need
走
to
るだ
prepare
けです。
breakfast.
じゃあ虫図を走らせまくってやるよ。
I actually made some
山の
fluffy
中で暮らして
pancakes.
ると
Like,
例の一人や二人
I think I
アホ
did
ほ
it
ど
on
見ちまうから
Sunday.
な。
So I basically make like fluffy pancakes. I made
や
some
めてください。
homemade ice
やはり
cream
あな
on
たは
them.
野蛮です。
Some
もっと探偵
Nutella.
らしい理知的な発言を
I don't know
心が
what
け
to
てください。
call this. Like I dip in, like I just put some Nutella on as well, and some raspberry jam. Damn, that was good. And I'm not lying. I've had that twice in a row now as a supper, and I've also been able to eat one. Renegade sits before the dismantled SPX. He cheerfully runs his finger over its exterior and smirks. But I also had like a pancake each morning. Like I have now, I think I have 2 more pancakes left. And I've eaten 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made 8 pancakes yesterday. Doesn't sound like much, but these things are like thick and fluffy ones. Prince is at 88, like almost 90. Oof. Yeah. Kinda like a goddamn Pokemon pack sometimes.
それはこっちのセリフだよ。
Well,
君の
10,
方こそ
10 more
何を
than a
してる
Pokemon. Yeah, 10 more. Some Pokemon packs are like around 70 to 80.
そんなに敵意を向けないでく
It
れよ。
feels like at least.
せっかくい
Yeah,
いこ
wait a
とを
second.
教え
Yeah,
てあげ
I
よ
was
うと
saying
思っ
it's
たの
around
に
that
さ。
price. Renegade motions to the SPX as he speaks. I glance over the machine again, but as far as I can tell, it's still in pieces. Just the way it was while we were inspecting it earlier. I had not noticed anything peculiarly odd.
長い針が消えてる。
I was just thought about the failsafe alone, which means if you're being chased by it, you get separated, then you're fucked. The perfect way to kill the herd, and if you want to be funny, it's all process of elimination, yeah. Also, someone apparently took a spike. Now they mention it, I noticed that one of the long metal spikes Teki had detached has disappeared. There would have been an ample time to take it while we were returning items to the warden's room and chatting with Dolful. But who did it and why?
ついに始まるみたい
Yeah,
だ
someone is gonna die by a spike.
始まるって何が。
そんなの決まっているじゃないか。
The corner of Renegade's mouth curl upwards in the shape of a crescent.
俺たちの中に混じった殺人鬼と 俺たち探偵との殺し合いが始まるんだよ。ああ、感じる感じるよ。この暗闇の中に潜む殺意を愛おしいほどに感じる。
また意味わかんねえこと言いやがって。そろそろ黙らねえとマジで口を聞けなくすんぞ、このイカレ野
But it
郎。
was just us here, apparently not. Rowdy approaches Renegade and sees him by the collar. But he doesn't flinch, carrying on with a great cheer, completely unfazed.
わざとらしく怒ってみせるなよ。本当はみんな分かっているんじゃないか。探偵なんて全員何も起きない退屈な日常に我慢できず、殺人鬼と関わり合う探偵という名の非日常を望んだ命知らずたちだ。
I guess it's right
俺も
nonsense.
君も他のみんなも狂気と嘘と殺意が渦巻く非日常にそそられている。全員にイかれているのさ。
Saving just in case, because it is about 10 minutes left. Unpacking the cigarette pack and cracking open the uncommon red eye.
てめえと一緒にすんじゃねえ。俺はあの人の役に立つために来たんだ。引かれた考えなんざ一切ねえんだよ。
Well, someone is crazy here. That's something I can't really see, like, who is crazy and not here, other than, like, sure, Renegade. I was starting to think as well of Workaholic, but that's because of his, like, tools he was able to use. But everyone else is like, I don't know. Like, I cannot see Bookworm doing it. Because, like, Bookworm doesn't have a nemesis now. Her nemesis was basically, like, Downtown, and Downtown is gone. So I have no idea, actually, who would take this.
君のお母さんは明けぬ夜事件の被害者だろう。だからこそ君は強く育てられたんだ。
Detectives don't only investigate murder, no matter if you're a PI or police detective. That is fair, but probably in this game, because technically, the thing is, like, was a craze about something, like detective craze, and that was because there was so much murders and, like, death, that many people became detectives or tried to become detectives. So in real life and normal wise, yes, detectives doesn't investigate just murders. But it seems like just because of some sort of craze, these detectives does just that. I guess it could also be them being crazy in their own ways. Yeah. Many of them are crazy in their own ways.
もうてめえは死んどけ。ド変態野郎。
ヤマトさん、ダメだ。
As I move to get between Renegade and Rowdy, her fist lands squarely on my cheek, sending me flying. My back slams hard against the ground and my chest grows tight. I can't breathe. Soon after, the metallic taste of blood fills my mouth. My vision is hazy, but I can make out the sound of numerous footsteps approaching.
無能の兄さん大丈夫か。本当にすまねえ。
Jesus. That hit though.
意識が混濁しています。監視室から氷を持ってきますね。
Wow, the warden's room have basically a lot of things, doesn't it?
おやおや、大事な仲間を殴るなんてひどいね。
てめえ、もう一発ぶん殴ってやるから面を貸しやがれ。ヤマトさん落ち着いて。彼の言葉を真に受けちゃダメだよ。
I'm just laying here but almost passing out and they all just do shit.
運ぶのである。これ以上喧嘩を続けるというのなら、
I'm just waiting that someone died while we were basically asleep.
我がまとめて引き受けよう。仲間同士でいがみ合うなど間違っているのである。
Sorry, the way you say that was kind of terrifying. I hear them talking, but can't muster a sound. I feel armor cradle me and lift my body as I slip in and out of the waking world. Oh, am I gonna get another premonition, by the way?
大した意味はないよ。ただ一晩だけ。俺と君の部屋を交換してほしいのさ。
I don't like that. They both have the right side. Where was he? I'm trying to remember. That is Megasos. I'm just trying to remember how the layout was because we saw that before. I'm coming to. I find myself in a bizarre labyrinth, walking along the desolate concrete walls. A familiar mechanical beeping whirs further down the corridor. I get a bad feeling and rush ahead. Soon after, I run into it. The white machine we encountered this afternoon. Next to it, a girl is sprawled out, drenched in blood. A spear juts out of her chest, and a sanguine fluid gushes from her wound. Yeah, fair enough, actually. You are absolutely right about that. The thick scent of blood hangs in the air. One whiff of the metallic scent is enough to make my head spin, robbing me of all rational thought. I have to escape. As I try to voice the word, I feel something touching my back. I turn to find another SPX at my heels. Not only that, but I can make out the sound of threads nearby. So I guess this is a memory. Either that or this is actually a dream. More and more SPX gather at my heels. But the situation is so absurd that I can actually find some comfort in it. Could this be a vision from the denouement? Is this the fate I'm bound for? And what is supposed to happen to me? Dash forward with all my strength, weaving my way through the SPX before they can reach. It's not over until it's over. Even if what I'm seeing really is the future, I refuse to give up. I'll find a sliver of hope, I swear. Also, we're gonna snooze this ad because there's not gonna be any point in having an ad if we're gonna end the stream soon. Sparks fly across my field of vision, flooding my surroundings with light. At the moment, I find myself in a familiar cell. There's a figure lying in the bed near to the back. The body, but oddly enough, a long object protrudes from their chest. The big spear where someone stole. So someone stole a spear and someone got stabbed with it. I recognize the object at once. It's a stolen SPX spike. Even from this distance, it's crushingly obvious what happened. The spike has been speared straight through what is now a corpse. Oh, god damn it. Spring from the bed and survey the darkness around me. There aren't any bodies. I don't see the spike of the SPX either. The scent of blood is gone too. Well, we can at least say. Last time we couldn't actually say and had to do that. I don't know who it is. Apparently our denouement did not actually tell us that.